when we went into that Paige-Charlotte match, I didn't know who the babyface was and who the heel was. So I'm thinking, okay, you haven't been paying attention. They're not in your demo. You're uninterested or something. So let's not blame it on anybody. But when they show this package and they do some, then the package is confusing. So now I don't know who the hell. Now Rick does a couple of heelish things that at least gives me the reason that Charlotte had to cheat to gain an unfair advantage to win. So I like that. And if she's going to be living Daddy's shadow and be Daddy's little girl, and Rick is an overbearing, protective father of a prodigy athlete, okay, I'll try that. But do you think in the long haul that Charlotte should be so closely connected to her amazingly famous father?
That's going to kill her, JR, and she doesn't need to be. JR, I don't watch a lot of NXT. I'm not a fan of NXT. I'm not. So I've only watched it sporadically. But, when I was watching it, 6 months ago and stuff, and I saw Charlotte, I was like, this girl has the potential to be the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I thought she was that good. She does, and it's funny because I was watching closely yesterday, and there's JBL putting over Flair, not putting over Charlotte, putting over Ric Flair. And I sat there and I said, this is exactly what the problem is going to be. This girl is so talented. Yes, they have to work on her personality. That could take a little bit of time. But by putting her with Flair, who you know better than anybody, is larger than life, she's constantly going to be in his shadow, even when he's not trying. He could be out there and almost be invisible, and all eyes are going to be on Ric Flair. And, I think it goes hand in hand with this. Again, I love that all those girls came over from NXT. I love that they brought Becky over and Sasha over and Charlotte over. But again, they've been there now for about, maybe 3 or 4 months. Every week they mix and match the matches. What do we know about Sasha Banks? What do we know about her? What do we know about Becky Lynch? What do we know about Paige, aside from the fact that every arena she wrestles at, it's her house? What do we know about these people? So that's why you're dead on. It is confusing with Paige and Charlotte. Who's the babyface? Who's the heel? Because they haven't told us who either person is. So, the easiest thing they could do is, okay, Ric Flair is Charlotte's father. That's her character. But in the meanwhile, that's absolutely going to kill her and her credibility, because as long as she's out there with him, she's going to be in his shadow. No, the only story I'd like to share is, a lot of people don't remember this, but when I had my feud, when me and David had the feud with Rick and Reed at WCW, Charlotte was introduced in that storyline. So because of that, I am now taking full credit for Charlotte's wrestling career.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Yeah. Good job. There you go.
There you go.
Long Island proud, brother. I'm not sharing credit with anybody. I'm going to talk. Part of Flair is part of my act. I'm going to be down in Dallas for WrestleMania and doing 3 shows at the House of Blues, and there's plenty of Flair material. But if it's an 18 or over crowd, I can generally roll out the Flair content. If it's an all audience where there's children there, I usually let the Nates stay asleep.
Yeah, JR, I don't think I want to hear the Ric Flair stories you have, to be honest. They might get me in trouble.